customer's concern is that the AC works fine when the truck is being driven down the road, but when he sits in the traffic it doesn't cool very well. The day the truck is dropped off at the shop, the ambient temperature is 95 degrees Fahrenheit. Technician starts by connecting a temperature probe to his DVOM and inserts the probe into the center vent of the dash. He sets the controls to max cold, blower high, and recirculate mode. With the truck idling in the bay, the duct temperature is around 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Technician then connects his AC machine and observes the gauge readings. Both sides are high at idle. Next, the technician brings the engine up to 2500 RPM and observes the readings. These readings are more acceptable. Temperature also reflects the improved pressure and is dropping to a more acceptable temperature. At this point, there are several theories running through the technician's head as to why the system works better at higher RPM. Is the refrigerant level too low? Is the refrigerant level too high? Could the clutch be slipping? Could the fan be inoperative? The only theory that matches the symptoms and pressure readings is poor airflow through the condenser. The fan is mechanically operated by the belt and it's working properly. Technician looks at the front of the condenser and it looks a little dirty, but not sufficient enough to cause the problem. The technician loosens the brackets that hold the top of the condenser and the top of the radiator in place. He can now separate them and inspect them for debris between the components. He finds a lot of debris stuck to the front of the radiator. It almost looks like a sweater. The technician uses a garden hose and compressed air to clean the radiator. The new pressures are much lower and more in range than the initial tests due to the increased airflow through the condenser. Can we call this one fixed? Are we missing anything?
Alright, now the tech could have stopped here, but he decides to go on and do some additional temperature testing procedures. He's going to measure 3 temperature differences. He's going to do one at the condenser inlet and outlet. He's going to do one at the evaporator inlet and outlet. And he's also going to look at the ambient in front of the radiator and the center duct temperature and do some comparisons. On this F150, the condenser inlet outlet temperature difference is 42 degrees Fahrenheit. This is normal but slightly on the high side. His evaporator temperature drop between the inlet and the outlet has a difference of 9.5 degrees. This indicates a possible undercharge. Ambient to center duct drop is 31 degrees. Now that's an acceptable number. He decides to take a 4th reading. He's going to look at the temperature of the compressor case. He's got 166 degrees on the case, which is higher than expected. There are no OE specifications on this, and you're going to have to research vehicles at your shop for this. But for our readings right now, 166 is a little bit high. The direction the tech has. Ambient to duct temperature drop is in range. It's less than 30 degrees. Duct temperature seems to be okay. We may be undercharged, which is excessive evaporator temperature drop, and elevated compressor case temperatures. Undercharged systems result in poor oil circulation. That's going to lead to some premature compressor failures. Now he goes in and decides to recover the refrigerant. He pulls out 1 pound 12 ounces, which is 28 ounces total. He looks at the label on the front of the radiator and finds that this system should hold 33 ounces. So he's got approximately 15% undercharged system. They consult with the customer, and the customer agrees to go through an evacuation and recharge. He evacuates for 45 minutes, recharges with 33 ounces of R134A, and also adds 1.5 ounces of ice 32. After recharging, his condenser inlet and outlet temperature difference is now 28 degrees, which is okay because we're less than 30 degree difference. Evaporator temperature drop is 2.5 degrees. That's very acceptable. And his ambient to duct difference is 35 degrees. We're looking good here now. Compressor case temperature is the big one. This case temperature is now 132 degrees, 34 degrees lower than before. Why this big difference? Well, we've got proper compressor lubrication. Remember, the lubricant is transported through this system by the refrigerant. So with the proper charge in there, we're now getting better lubrication flow. This is going to extend the life of the components also. The duct temperature with the doors closed on max AC drops to 44 degrees. Now you have to understand the ambient temperature in the shop that day was 104. So we're at 44 degrees inside. I think we're cooling pretty good.